Good afternoon, all the panelists. Namaskar. S.K. Murari, sir. Hi, Lakshmi.
Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And Namaskar, Murari, sir. How are you? Mr. Gunendra Mishra is here. कैसे हैं सर? Sir is on mute. सर की आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Hello, Ankit. Good to have you on this webinar. Thank you for joining in. Namaskar, sir. Mr. Murari, namaskar. Are our student moderators here, Aparna, Kaushik and Akanksha? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, good evening. Good evening to everyone. Sir, somebody saying we are not, Aparna is saying we are not having control to unmute ourselves. Please give the control to the panelists. Please give the controls to the panelists. Good evening, Dipanjali Pathak. Thank you so much for joining in. It's always very heartening when people come and participate in the discussions. Good evening, Garima Chaudhary. Good evening, Neera Uppal. Good evening, Tanishka. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Rajshri Upadhyay, a very good evening to you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Hope I am audible now.
Yes, yes. Namaskar, sir. Good afternoon. Good to be virtually meeting
Namaskar,
you.
madam. Namaskar.
Thank you so much for taking this time out and being part of these conversations, because बहुत जरूरी है कि सब मिलके participate करें और educate करें about these upcoming changes that are happening.
Yes, ma'am.
So very briefly, these programs, we are collaboratively trying to make people aware about what it is going to be in collaboration. Edudevs is doing this in collaboration with Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham University. And from there, we have Miss Lakshmi Menon. And Mr. Gurinder sir is here. Good evening, Ankit. Please keep posting your queries in the chat box. If you want to have any point at any point of time to discuss, please feel free to reach out to our esteemed panelists who carry immense experience in the education field and are veterans and institutions in themselves. Shikha ma'am, do we have Mr. Gurendra Mishra here?
I'm trying to connect with him. मेरे से बात हुई थी. I'm just calling him once.
All right, all right. Jai Hind. Abhinesh Tiwari ji, Jai Hind. Good to hear this word. I think it is 4:07 and Team Edudevs, we can start the show rolling.
Ma'am, Mr. Guneet will be joining in just 2 minutes.
All right. Thank you so much. Till the time we can do our introductions. And you can give us a heads up once he joins. I can understand, principals have an extremely tough and a very rigorous day. And we are very grateful to our principal community for taking that time out and contributing to this, what I always call churning of knowledge, because that's how things take shape. So a very good evening to one and all. And I would like to start this conversation before I get into the introductions, I would just set the tone to the whole webisode that we will be, looking at. You see, access to quality education is the solution for continued growth in economy, social justice, equality, scientific advancement, of course, national integration, culture. And that is why somewhere we are in an age which is a knowledge economy. Now, this knowledge economy has a lot of reliance on education. And in education, at the same time, with this new world order coming in, the demand for a skilled workforce has extremely gone high. When I speak about skilled workforce, the one term that comes to my mind is vocational training. This is not a new term to any of us who are in this virtual room today. But let me just put it in words. Vocational training is the instructional program that prepares one for an occupation which requires specialized skill, such as technicians, artisans. Now, why are we talking about it? For a very long time, we had seen that our education system did not lead to a seamless way to employability. We have a great workforce of unemployed youth. And so we started questioning the systems of our education patterns. with the rollout of national education policy, one of many things changed in the national education policy, from the structure to the curriculums to many other things. But a very important thing that was element that was added was the vocational education has garnered a lot of spotlight, because somewhere there is a realization that skills will remain extremely important. If I look at what the national education policy tries to bring in on the table, is that by 2025, they say that 50% of learners shall have vocational exposure through schools and higher education. So maybe the journey will begin from class 6 to 8, different kind of vocational trainings, 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, more rigorous vocational trainings, which will prepare them with skills which they can, then utilize when they go out in the world. Even the NCF, which is being redrafted to give a higher emphasis on vocational training. Everywhere we are talking about it. I will not spill the beans because I am not the panelist. I am here a bridge between our audience and our panelists, because they are the institutions. They know the best why this vocational training has been given so much of importance by the national education policy, or is it an outcome of the changing environment in the world? I'm extremely, extremely delighted to yet another episode or webisode of Futuristic Education. This is the journey that we are traversing with Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. We collaborate with them in our effort to make make the masses aware about these Herculean changes that are happening in the education sector, because the sector is undergoing a paradigm shift. Normally, these are city-based webinars, but today I would say it's a state-based webinar. We have representatives from 2 states. We have our panelists from Sangaria and Ajmer, which are 2 cities in Rajasthan. We have also our student panelists from Ghaziabad and Hyderabad. So I think that's completely an admixture. And why not? When we always talk about unity in diversity, we have immense diversity today. So without much ado and without any delay, let me quickly introduce you to our esteemed panel of today. We have with us Mr. Shah Krishan Murari, Principal, SKM Public School, Sangaria, Rajasthan. He carries with him over 27 years of experience in the education industry and in academics. BSc, B.Ed, MA Economics, PGDM, MBA. I think he is truly, I was saying, he's an institution. He also has experience from government schools in Thimphu, Bhutan. His vision is to build a school fusion of Shanti Niketan style and a modern technology. Amazing, sir. I completely bow down to your vision, and may God bless you with this outcome of this vision. Welcome, sir, to this episode. We also have with us Mr. Gunendra Mishra, from Principal, Sadhguru International School, Ajmer, an experience of again 26 years in education with institutions of high repute such as DPS Noida, Ghaziabad, DPS Indrapur, Modern Vidya Niketan Faridabad, a passionate learner, MSc gold medalist from BHU, CBSE resource person of physics, science, life skills. I don't know so much. His CV is full of accolades. Welcome you, Mr. Gunendra Mishra. We have with us now, no less, but somebody who has always been a co-moderator and a co-panelist always, and that is Miss Lakshmi Madhavan. Assistant Manager, Career Counseling, Directorate of Admissions, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham University. She has been instrumental in bringing this change, in being part of all the conversations, whether they are from careers or they are from pedagogy or anything. She is a passionate educator. Welcome you, Ms. Lakshmi. And we have with us our student moderators who will be my two wings in today's journey. We have with us Aparna Kaushik, grade 10, KR Manglam World School student, Vishali Ghaziabad. Put our hands together for Aparna Kaushik. Good evening. And we have with us Akanksha Kapre, grade 12, school Meridian Mahalpur City, Hyderabad. Welcome, Akanksha, and I hope you're very well prepared to moderate this today's event with me. Welcome, everyone. And now let's not delay and let there be nobody between the panelists and their audience. Sir, so my first question is the ice-breaking question, and the order of order in which you will be addressing this ice-breaking question will be in the order of my introduction. That is, first would be Murari sir, then Yunendra sir, Lakshmi ma'am, Akanksha, and Akanksha and Aparna Kaushik. So the first thing, Murari sir, tell us this, that why so much of importance, number one, has been given to vocational education? Why it has suddenly, we always have our SUPW, some kind of skill development was always happening embedded in the curriculum. Number one, that why so much of importance to it? And do you think this vocational, overemphasis on vocational would then, somewhere undermine the importance of the higher education? Ji, sir. Yes, Murari, sir.
Yes, madam. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I am audible to everyone. Okay, thank you. As we see in case of fashion, it keeps on returning. There was a time before independence, long back, Mahatma Gandhi said that when a child comes out from school, he must have a certificate, a degree in his hand, and a skill with him, so that with that particular skill, he is able to get work in market, is able to earn something, and able to feed himself and his family. This was told long back, somewhere in 1936. In between, what happened? We started giving too much importance to degrees, certificates, and started thinking of this white collar job like thing. And this vocational education, this skill development took backseat. The situation became worse because even started thinking that if their children start doing something, if they start working somewhere, start learning a skill somewhere, maybe in an industry or maybe with a skilled person, they used to hesitate in telling this to their friends. They used to hide such thing from the society. And in this way, it happened so that we started getting a lot of people with graduation. But when these people go to market in search for work, they find that they are not wanted in market. The industry is not able to accept them because they don't have any skill which is actually required in market, which is actually. And this has given once again importance to this skill education, that if we have a skill, then only we'll be employable and we'll be able to earn something for ourselves and for the family. This is the basic reason. Depending only on government jobs, that is not enough for such a big population. We need skilled people. Even in schools, I have seen, we require some people, but we are not able to get that type of people. So school is a very simple place where usually we need people with degrees, but along with degree, they must have skill, knowledge, information. Talk about the industries. There we need actual people who are able to work. So this situation is creating problem, and this has given, this has created a situation that where have started thinking of skill education and vocational education. The attitude has to change. I'll take 1 minute extra.
For sure.
We find in Western countries, even our own students after class to Australia or Canada and other places, and there they happily take admission in some higher education, and along with that working and also earning. They find it as a status symbol that yes, I am working somewhere, maybe at McDonald's or maybe some petrol pump or doing some accounting work in some office. They feel very happy. But in our society, along with his graduation, even the parents, they hesitate in telling this to their family members, to their friends in the society. So this change has to take place. Unless we give importance to work, we will not be skillful, will not be employed. So this present situation has given this requirement, this has generated a situation that we must give importance to skill, learning, and vocational education, what I feel.
I think so beautifully, sir, you have put in the thought, and so beautifully you raised set the tone of the discussion that, I was actually thinking, because when you spoke about Mahatma Gandhi, way back, he gave the mantra that along with degree, you have to have the skill. But somewhere we forgot that skill part, and we were very focused on the importance of curriculum and the content. And this is where we stand. And the second point, very well you put out, that it has always been a way of life in West that, earn while you learn. Here we have it as a project, earn while you learn, whereas there it is part of their lifestyle. So yes, more insights during the course of discussion. Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful answer. Thank you. Moving on to Gunendra Mishra, sir, what is your take on, would this about the importance of vocational training, and would somewhere this vocational training lead to gradually, if over importance would be given, would it undermine the higher education? Ji, sir.
Very good evening, and I hope that I'm audible to of you. And namaste, welcome from Ajmer, the city of joy, city of Brahmaji, and what you call as a city which actually many of us dream to be the part of. I'm so happy to be the part of an institute here, which is a foundation school, international school. And actually, coming to the point which Devyani ma'am is asking, CBSE has done a wonderful job last few years as far as promoting this vocational courses are concerned. In fact, CBSE has never been into such tremendous amount of rigorous churning about the skill development and the vocational. There has been a parallel department. Earlier, Mr. Saha was leading it. And now just understanding the importance of the training and a parallel vertical of the vocational courses and skill development, CBSE has divided that also. Around 100 courses of the vocational training or vocational subjects has already been introduced by CBSE, around 100. And the emphasis which CBSE is trying to give is a very important proof that the time has gone when the mainstreaming could have been considered as the only lifeline of the schooling. Mainstreaming is not the schooling. You need to introduce certain things which, even if you try hard, you cannot just induct in the mainstreaming of the schooling. Because physics, chemistry, mathematics, or even the commerce subjects, whatever we call normally scheme 1, scheme 2, scheme 3, by the traditional school concept, that has been written off completely now. Even kids are now aware about many things. So we should not undermine their ability, their potential. Parents are being aware. Institutes like you people are doing a great job. You're also making a lot of awareness. I must submit myself. So recently CBSE has introduced, and I was a very fortunate part of that initiative, introduced an induction program. Now that induction program says that let the principals and the resource person talk about these initiatives among the stakeholders, because we are unable to reach to them. Many schools, many principals, they do not offer these vocational courses to their students. I mean, they don't allow them to pick. So that's an irony. So whereas I totally believe that the importance of the vocational courses, they have gained the speed, they have gained their pace. At the same time, I believe that a bit more intensified awareness needs to be done amongst the stakeholders, especially amongst the kids. I think as early as class 6, 7, 8, the training should start. The teachers and the students must be given rigorous knowledge awareness program through the assemblies, through the campaign, through webinar, through different digital platform, physical platform. And by the time they reach to class 9th, where they are supposed to be opting to these courses out of the 100 options given, they should be in a better position to choose the right vocational course and pursue that as a very important subject. And principals and the schools must not facilitate only certain schemes of the learning as per the new education policy. As it is, we are not supposed to be a scheme liner. We are supposed to be rather drawing a lot of parallel lines and, developing certain pedagogy which has never been before. That is what the new education policy is all about. So this is my opinion. Thank you very much once again for boarding me. And
thank you so much, sir.
having me.
I think if Murari sir had spoken about, set the tone, I think you so beautifully have built upon it. That, and what I really like is that schools should not restrict themselves and make themselves servitude to these particular, curriculums that only X number of skill sets. Because in this environment of differential teaching learning, I think skill sets should also be open. And when you were speaking, I was just also thinking before I move on that maybe sometimes there is a limit on the school's capacity to go beyond providing, certain courses. So it is always good that why can't, the schools in that area collaborate and come together. And, there is an exchange of students where if the students, why should we just waste our resources for, all the courses being offered by all schools? Why can't there be a happy blend and collaboration? And thank you so much, sir. We are honored to have you on this. Thank you so much. And we shall be in conversation more. Over to you, Lakshmi ma'am. What do you think about, and specifically because you come from that higher ed segment, I would want you to give us that perspective that how important does vocational training, we are all integrating vocational training in our curriculums very rigorously, but then how helpful it would be to in the higher ed to students, and would then it undermine somewhere because if you're skilled, ultimately everybody, then it'll become a West kind of system that everybody doesn't need to go for higher eds. There are students would want to develop their skills and go for employment. So would, as a higher ed, you would kind of face any threat with this? Yes, Lakshmi ma'am.
Obviously, I don't feel that will be a threat type of thing. So coming to the point when a comparison of higher education or maybe what's the vocational training. So we as Amrita mostly are focusing on something like maybe a 70-30 perspective. That 70 is mostly on the hands-on training that is very important for these students. So we all know about the statistics our country is facing. everybody is having a BTech, and that too, obviously, most of the people are focusing on, yeah, I need computer science, I need artificial intelligence, I need data science. So these are some of the trends that are here. Everybody studies the theory topics, they'll get the degree. But when it comes to jobs, a lot of students are facing issues. Why? Because they are not having that practical, that knowledge. That is something which comes under the vocational part. So we are mostly giving importance to that practical side so that we'll be able to cover a huge crowd. And even when it comes to schools, I would just like to refer to one event which we are organizing. It's still going on, which is called as Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Workshop.
Yes.
We used to go to schools and we used to provide them trainings. It provides a hands-on experience to the students. So it should be a combination. It should be a blend of both, but the vocational part has to be of more than 60. That's what my opinion is.
I think that's very well said. And though you've still not managed to answer my question, that would it be gradually, if 20% also, because till now the trend was always that, in India, your schooling logically leads to an undergrad course. But when especially children are equipped and the organizations are ready to hire them, so definitely there could be, but well, whether it is good or bad, it will be for a good.
It will take some time anyway. That's what my opinion is. It's not like we can't carry the higher education with this vocational. Water is coming. It will happen, but it will happen gradually, and it will take some time to implement. Because now schools have, I would say, less number of schools have started opening up for us. Even for the trainings, different organizations are offering. So it will take some time, even if they are having certain elective subjects. I would say some schools are interested in, I would say, printing. Some are related to the computer science. Some are ready to take up subjects in food science. So that is happening, but it will only come gradually. It will take time. That's what my first take is. I think, ma'am, I think you're on mute.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lakshmi ma'am, for coming to our students. I really want to know that we have with us Akanksha and Aparna. So I just want to know, Aparna, are you aware of, doing some kind of a training, or are you involved in some? So vocational training would also mean an internship or anything. Are you also aware, or if you're doing, do you have any advantage to this? Can you share your experience or how important it is? Yes. Very
Yes,
briefly.
ma'am, so basically this internship will help us create help us know our passion even more, because passion can be anything, like data science, graphic design, anything. So it is something which help us to know something in even more deep way. And
Yeah. So thank you so much. And I know that you both are interning with Edudevs, and that is another skill set that you're acquiring side by side. Thank you so much. We now come to our second segment of questions, which is more, focused on, we tread over one particular area, and we want the inputs of our esteemed panelists on these particular issues. So first of all, I would like to move on to Gunendra, sir. Sir, you see that, and you were mentioning that the vocational, because that CBSE has put and bifurcated so beautifully that everything is being put into trainings, and that is something which is a very, very revolutionary step that it has taken. So the vocational education system in schools will, as you told, that will be reintegrated under the National Skill Qualifications Framework for providing training to the dropouts. Bachelor's in vocation program offered by higher education institution is to be further expanded. And then there is a credit-based framework which they are curating. Now, there is a complete lack of vertical mobility, sir, for students from vocational education stream, an issue that has only been addressed recently through NSQF. So could you just throw some light on the gap that is existing, and also if you could help our audience understand a roadmap or what is the best way they could, get the best of both the worlds.
Thank you so much. Again, the very interesting question. What is happening actually? Am I audible again?
Yes, sir.
What is happening actually in our country? Even I am a byproduct of the same, so I should not be very critically criticizing it. But then, as a matter of fact, that since I'm now an educationist who has a certain responsibility to giving back to the society again. So rather than criticizing, I'm supposed to be pointing out certain things which is there within our framework, and whether we are lawmaker exactly affecting the law, or we are certain people who are executing those laws which are being made by some of us. It is our responsibility to understand first the drawback. So higher education and the school education, it has been very separated in our country. Like JEE entrance, if I give you example from the school background, since I am JEE entrance, there are hardly around 20% in physics and mathematics, which is asked from the class 11 and class 12 syllabus in JEE entrance examination. And the eligibility for the JEE entrance is class 12th board exam. Now, if I'm eligible by appearing in class 12th only, then how can I be, exposed to certain question paper or certain system of a rigorous selection, which has got 80% asked from outside? So what kind of test is this? Now, IIT and JEE happens to be higher education. The institutes, the regime, everybody knows that they belong to the higher education. Take it, that is UGC governed. And the school is, a system which is CBSE governed. Now, I fix sometimes myself in the middle. And I believe that whom to complain? Nobody is going to listen, probably. Why don't you ask something which belongs to class 12 syllabus? And can't you test them, children? Or your teaching is not that strong enough to make them prepare for class 11 and 12th only? Or you are promoting a parallel vertical called coaching institute? Either it's a Kota or Rajasthan or India or Ajmer, or what are you doing exactly? Are you a confused person? So kids come to me, and why I'm saying this in a very strong conviction manner, because I have been a very strong promoter of the subject physics. I have written books also. I have been national level physics mentor of Uran classes when CBSE started, teaching the girl child for getting selected in the engineering, considering Smriti Irani ji was ex-minister at that time, that the representation of the girl children in the engineering colleges has gotten depleted. So let us bring certain syllabus, certain course, which will promote. So I have been working there in this project as well. I realized that somewhere there is a lot of disparity. Now, same thing is going to happen with this vocational course. If we do not address the problem, I'm afraid. So we need to address the problem. We need to bridge this gap between school as a segment of education in our country and the colleges or the higher education as another segment, big segment of the education. Naturally, we are doing in schools what we are supposed to be getting transformed into the college. There is no doubt about it. School has no existence if we do not make children very clear about the path which they are supposed to be leading towards colleges. So what are we doing in schools? हमारे यहाँ schools में एक culture है, finish the syllabus. हमारे यहाँ school में एक दूसरा culture है, teach the subject. Now, we are not teaching child, we are teaching subject, a very wrong pedagogy. Why do you want to teach subject? Tell me. Are you a God-gifted promoter of your subject? Then why don't you hunt only those children to teach who want to know that subject? If you call child as a subject, why do you teach physics as a subject to the child? Is it not something very, harsh act over the child? बहुत सारी चीजें अभी न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में दुरुस्त हो गई हैं. स्कूलों में तो मुझे खुशी है बताते हुए कि कुछ सालों में अगर जिस तरह से चल रहा है चर्निंग, आई एम ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ दिस होल एक्सरसाइज। उस तरह से अगर चलता गया तो स्कूल के अंदर तो सिस्टम ठीक हो जाएगा। उससे फायदा क्या होगा, स्कूल में बच्चों को हम लोग बेहतर तरीके से अवेयर कर पाएंगे, उनको हम बता पाएंगे कि ये भी ऑप्शंस है, इस तरह के कोर्सेज को लेने का ये फायदा है, तुम ये तो ले रहे हो लेकिन अगर ये नहीं लोगे तो यहां चूक जाओगे। उनको एक ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी के हायर कोग्निटिव डोमेन के बेस पे एक पेडागोजिकल तरीके से बच्चों को बताना पड़ेगा कि तुम्हें तुम्हारे इन कोर्सेज को इसी समय करने का आगे चलकर ये फायदा है। और पेरेंट्स को हमें अलग से पैरेलल स्कूल के अंदर कक्षाओं में बैठाकर क्लास लेना पड़ेगा, ये भी एक इनिशिएटिव लेना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि जब तक हम पेरेंट्स को सिर्फ फीस देने वाली मशीन बनाकर रखेंगे तब तक यही होता रहेगा जो हो रहा है। फीस तो वो डिजिटली भी पे कर देते हैं आजकल दुबई में बैठ के, स्कूल क्यों बुलाते हो फीस देने के लिए? अरे भाई उनको क्लास लगाओ बुला के, स्कूल में 2 बजे के बाद स्कूल का पूरा कक्षा खाली रहता है, कोई नहीं होता है स्कूल में, सफाई वाले सफाई करके चले जाते हैं। लेट द पेरेंट हैव अ पैरेलल क्लास एंड टीच देम that we are promoting this vocational course, it has this benefit, it has that benefit, this is the options, higher education से यहाँ लिंक हो सकता है। आप भी बच्चे को गाइड करिए, हम लोग मिलके ही बच्चे का कंफ्यूजन दूर कर सकते हैं, वरना आप किसी और डायरेक्शन में ले जाएंगे, हम किसी और, बच्चा हमारा कंफ्यूज हो जाएगा। सो इस तरह के अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम की बहुत सख्त जरूरत है। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि रिगरस ट्रेनिंग का जो बीड़ा सीबीएसई ने उठाया है, स्कूल सिस्टम में तो काफी सुधार आने वाला है। हाँ, एक बात की मुझे अभी भी कमी लगती है कि हायर एजुकेशन के अंदर जो स्कूल का जो क्रेडिट सिस्टम हम इंट्रोड्यूस करने वाले हैं एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में, उसके भी विंडोज बनने चाहिए ताकि जो क्रेडिट सिस्टम हम इंश्योर करें बच्चों को, जो दे हम क्रेडिट सिस्टम, उस क्रेडिट सिस्टम के बेसिस पे बच्चों का हायर एजुकेशन में एडमिशंस या बच्चों के हायर एजुकेशन को सफर ना करें बच्चे कभी भी। क्योंकि अगर हम क्रेडिट सिस्टम डेवलप करना चाहते हैं, जो कि भी सीबीएसई ने रिसेंटली कहा है कि अगर एक बच्चा मान लीजिए क्लास 11th में या क्लास 12th में 6 महीने की पढ़ाई करके वो चला जाता है कहीं पर, और 6 महीने के बाद वो फिर से आके पढ़ाई करना चाहता है, उसको 6 महीने की क्रेडिट हमने दे दी, तो क्या कॉलेजेस रेडी हैं उस बच्चे को लेने के लिए? क्या कॉलेजेस उस बच्चे को लेकर उस बच्चे को आगे प्रमोट कर सकते हैं? बेशक कुछ वोकेशनल कोर्स के लिए ही बच्चा जा रहा है, मेन स्ट्रीम के लिए नहीं जा रहा, पर वेयर इज दैट क्रेडिट सिस्टम? क्या हमारा समाज रेडी है कि उस बच्चे को वो 6 महीने के बाद क्लास 12th का कोर्स छोड़कर चला जाए और वो कुछ न कुछ एडिशनल 1 साल करके वापस आए? स्कूल ने तो उससे ले लिया क्योंकि उसका क्रेडिट हमारे पास स्कोर वो था, और बाहर से जो उसने कर लिया है, क्या वो चीज उसकी कंटिन्यूटी में, कैरियर में योगदान देगी या बेचारा वो परेशान हो जाएगा? बहुत सारे इस तरह के सवाल हैं जो मुझे लगता है एड्रेस करना चाहिए। College education and school education must sit together, must be the part of this wonderful exercise and develop a more awareness collaborative program together. Like school principal must be roped into the colleges, and colleges principals and Divyani Kapoor, people like you, must come to this school like Ajmer. I'm inviting you in open forum and talk to the children and let them know that the institutions like Amrita Vidyalaya or other institutions, they are actually having certain courses and certain wonderful things happening where school children must start taking interest and participating for having visit as well as gaining knowledge along with their parents.
I think one thing you very rightly put in, that the competitive exam that we take, the students take for IITs and JEEs, that has such a disconnect with the curriculum that is being taught. And so we have proliferation of these tuition centers. What has happened is we have introduced policies, but we have failed to create, as you said, वो जो mindset है, वो जो समाज है, वो जो बच्चे को real, making them aware of the real, वो कहीं ना कहीं missing है. When the curriculum says something, the expectation of those higher ed exams is different, and the gap is there. Now we have more such internships you just spoke about, which are on-campus internships, which give students hands-on learning as to what he is going to be trading in. And that is also one of the major, I think, I suddenly आप बोल रहे थे तो मैं सुन रही थी, इतनी इंटरेस्टिंग बातें आप बता रहे हैं. शायद ये भी कहीं ना कहीं ये रीजन है, जब हम देखते हैं हमारा बेस्ट स्टूडेंट जो IIT में है, when they succumb and when they are unable to perform because they ace their school curriculum, they crack that theoretical, but जब उन्हें वो प्रोजेक्ट डेवलप करना आता है, वो जो resilience है, वो जो, they are not at all resilient and they don't have grit, and somewhere they succumb, and we have such cases. Thank you so much, sir. Please, we are very happy, and you see 100 participation is not dropped. People are, thank you so much, sir. Coming back to you again. And moving on to Murari, sir. Now, extending this conversation with Mr. Gunender, some subjects are more vocationally oriented than in terms of future employability. However, not all schools would like to offer. Like I remember not too many years back, about 5, 6, 7 years back, entrepreneurship, fashion designing, those subjects, photography, those subjects which were really in demand, but schools did not opt for them for whatever reasons. Now, how can this situation best be resolved? Because there again is a gap, and I'm sure Gunender sir was talking about the same thing. Again, the expectation is something, but our curriculum is by stream 1, stream 2, stream 3. हम अभी भी उसी में ही हैं. तो ये कैसे इसको हम change करें? I'm sure some of the principals also would be watching our. जी sir.
Yes, ma'am. Very well said by Misra sir. He has outlined the actual problem, the way in which the children are moving towards preparation for competitive examination has taken all the fun and enjoyment and the real learning from schools. Those who are in that race, earlier the students, they used to go after 10th in 11th, 12th. Now the coaching centers, they have started targeting from class 6th onwards. They want their children should come to quota in class 6 itself. Now the problem is that those who are in that race, it is very difficult to stop them and convince them that this skill education is very, very important for them, for their future, in whatever stream they go. I'm happy with CBSE, that CBSE has got nothing like science, commerce, and arts stream. But in schools, for the purpose of getting the things managed properly, we have divided it into 3 categories, 3 or 4 categories. CBSE has got only 2 baskets of subjects. One is related to language, and second is related to all the subjects. A child can take physics, chemistry, and drawing. A child can take history, geography, and music. So CBSE is not stopping anybody from choosing subjects. So this is the beauty of CBSE. Now, when it comes to implementation in schools, sorry, there are problems. Suppose there are 100 of vocational subjects. A school cannot have all the subjects because they need skilled teachers also for them. We need labs also for them. So all cannot be done in one school, but yes, it's true that some subjects can be selected by schools depending on the area, depending on the interest of students, and those vocational subjects can be started. My actual problem from my own experience is that we started these skill subjects 2 years back, but now also the parents and students, they are not in a situation to take these subjects as an elective subjects. They take this subject as 6th subject, which becomes something like optional for them. They don't want to leave physics, chemistry, maths, physical, and then they want maybe financial market management as 6th subject. कि हो गया तो ठीक, नहीं हुआ तो भी ठीक. They don't want to miss this history, geography, economics, and after that they want one skill subject, IT. So this is the situation. Unless parents and students, they start accepting these subjects as main subject, the importance will not be obtained by these vocational subjects. Parents should start accepting that, okay, I will not take history, I will not take geography, I will not take physics. I will take maybe financial market management, maybe I will take IT, maybe I will take tourism and all this, maybe beauty wellness courses. So if they take this, then the importance will be obtained by these subjects, and a child will be able to give full time to these subjects. Another thing which I want to add, in schools we talk about this, we tell them this is important, this is important. But what is happening in higher education, maybe sometimes the schools are not aware, children are not aware, and even the colleges, they are not coming to schools for explaining this. That if you are taking this particular subject, and when you come to us in college, then we will be giving you a higher degree based on this only. So if this gap can be filled, I hope the children will come forward for taking these skill subjects. Another important thing is that we talk about skill. Recently, we visited in a CBSE program. I myself had gone to BITS Pilani. That was exposure visit for principals. And there the director, sir, and other teachers, professors, they were also talking about the same thing, that children who come here, sometimes they lack in skills. They are not able to create the actual product. They talk about the things on paper, but actually they don't know how to handle a screwdriver, how to tighten something. If the fuse has gone, they have done a lot of questions in physics. But when the fuse is not there at home, fuse has gone, they don't know how to repair it. So skill is important. And I'll tell you one more very interesting thing. When I was a teacher in Bhutan, government school Bhutan, there we faced the same problem. There we had teachers from multinationals were there, Australian, Canadian, Japanese, many were there. So we used to talk about the same thing, but the books, they never gave us a opportunity to work in that style. The book was related to maybe definition of a particular thing, maybe the procedure of something, and then talking about the conclusion themselves. हम बिना कुछ काम किए कंक्लूजन किताब में लिखा हुआ होता है उसको मान लेते हैं. मेटल्स आर गुड कंडक्टर ऑफ हीट, हमने मान लिया बिना मेटल को हाथ लगाए, बिना हीट जनरेट किए, बिना देखे कि मेटल हीट कंडक्ट करता है. So there the government of Bhutan, they did a very beautiful thing. They organized a workshop. I was a part of that, and we developed a book, and the whole book of science was changed. That was for class 6 that time. Whole book was changed, and the book was the new book which came in our pilot project, that was completely different. The book used to say, okay, aim to learn that metal is a good conductor of heat. Things required, this. Procedure, do this. Observation, there used to be a blank table. Conclusion, write yourself. Suppose if you have a lesson of this type, how a teacher can take shortcut or how a student can take shortcut? Unless they do, they will not be able to fill the observation table. And without observation, they will not be able to conclude anything. So this was the beauty of that program. So if our curriculum is of that type, that we have to perform and then we have to do, and then come to a conclusion, then all of us, not only one particular school, suppose I compel my teachers to do like this, but maybe my neighboring school is not doing like that. They are just going, okay, wait, class mein aaye, they gave all the question answers, children, they wrote it, they mugged it up, wrote answer in the examination and got full marks.
That is the easy way out. सर वो बहुत ही एक easy way out टीचर के लिए. और दूसरी चीज इस चीज के लिए बोलूंगी कि कहीं ना कहीं हम लोगों ने ये गैप इसलिए रहा क्योंकि जब हम भी पढ़ रहे थे, when I was also, so we had projects, but project was always that again an extension of what you did. It was again on paper. It was never on experiences. Again, CBSE has introduced, and way back certain progressive institutions, I was with Heritage way back, about 15 years back. That time we had introduced project-based learning. But how many schools will be able to ready to take a project-based learning? And as Mishra sir rightly said, we just know these two things: finishing curriculum or finishing syllabus और टीचिंग सब्जेक्ट. तो जब तक ये दो चीजें हमारे माइंड में रहेंगी, ये all that we are talking, and I really hope these are the reasons we've taken up, futuristic series are on that, to make everybody aware that we all have to be part of this process of bringing in change. National education policy, just by being a robust document, will not be able to do anything unless all of us are aware. And I think anybody who is aware of the right kind of things and how it will, even if the educator knows that in fact project-based learning will make her job much easier than tireless task of reading every word and checking the answer scripts, they will also be able to accept. So thank you so much, sir, for these insights. And just one more extension to of what Murari sir has been talking about to Gunendra sir. Sir, highly integrated vocational educational training and higher education qualifications, as you were talking about, they are very difficult and expensive to develop. This is primarily due to that the comprehensive mapping between the two. अब जो बहुत rich and dynamic and progressive schools हैं, they might offer those solutions to their students. So how can we help all schools to create this integration in our or probably does the government have a solution to this? You're part of so many committees.
Thank you so much. I was just trying to add on what Murari sir was telling, something very interesting. And then I will come back to your question. I remember your question. So actually what is happening that I want my cloth to be washed, but I don't want to wash myself. I want good food, to be served to me, but I don't want to cook good food. I want people to talk nicely with me, sweet, अच्छे अच्छे, बढ़िया बढ़िया, but I don't want to be sweet with them. I want a lot of smart people around me, smart father, smart wife, smart son, smart girlfriend, boyfriend, smart college, smart desk, smart, everything I want is smart, but I don't want to be smart myself. So this is a pedagogical paralysis. I normally call in my term pedagogical paralysis. Now, there is a remedy, and that remedy is very simple. I suggest the remedy also, and then I will come to your question. The remedy is very simple. Every paralysis, whether it's a pedagogical paralysis or any other, every paralysis has got a brain connect. Because brain is the center. The permutation and combination of the neurons, if you don't check, whether you check by watching Sadhguru's lecture or Sister Sivani's lecture, sorry to quote these two Mahapurus, maaf karna bhaiya, main public platform pe hu, koi baat nahi. Or whether you make this neuron combination perfect by reading Ramayana, Gita, Quran, whatever, Mahabharata, but then permutation, combination of the neuron, if you don't rectify, the paralysis is going to happen, because neuron happens to be permutation combination happening only in the brain. It doesn't happen in hand. It doesn't happen in the heart. It doesn't happen in the lungs as well. So the brain needs to be first taken care of. And what is the brain in the pedagogy? Brain of the pedagogical structure is certain institutions which call themselves as the schools, or say high profile schools. I'm still not including the colleges into that, because college का turn थोड़ा सा बाद में आता है पढ़ा उनका भी, पर उनका थोड़ा बाद में आता है. अगर मैं blame game शुरू करूंगा तो पहला blame स्कूल को ही जाएगा, बाद में कॉलेज वालों को जाएगा, पर रोल उनका भी है, उनका भी रोल है. I will not spare them also today. So what is, I'm sorry in advance. So what is happening actually, the pedagogical paralysis को ठीक करने की methodology में अभी बहुत तेजी से प्रयास शुरू हो गया है. देर आए दुरुस्त आए, पर अभी होगा ये.
मैं अगर अपने स्कूल की बात करूं, एज अ प्रिंसिपल मैंने लाइफ साइंस लैब बना दी है, जहां पर वॉशिंग मशीन्स लगाकर कपड़े धुले जा रहे हैं, जहां पर कैपेसिटर बदले जा रहे हैं पंखे के, जहां पर एक छोटे छोटे चीजों के लिए मम्मी मम्मी करने वाले बच्चे खुद उठ उठ के ले रहे हैं, कर रहे हैं, जहां पर डाइनिंग टेबल पे ग्लास और वो रखने का एटिकेट सिखाया जा रहा है, जहां पर हैंकी रखने का तरीका बताया जा रहा है मोड़कर। ये सारे छोटे छोटे लाइफ स्किल्स हैं। पढ़ाई लिखाई अगर लाइफ के लिए करा रहे हो तो लाइफ स्किल्स को स्कूल में क्यों नहीं सिखाते? एडवांस फिजिक्स लैब, एडवांस केमिस्ट्री लैब तो बाद में काम आएगा, सबसे पहले तो आपकी लाइफ स्किल लैब एडवांस होनी चाहिए। और कितनी कितनी एडवांस होनी चाहिए? जिसमें पौधारोपण की सुविधा हो, जिसमें गोभी पैदा करने की टेक्निक हो, जिसमें पालक लगाने की सुविधा हो। बच्चा पालक खाएगा कैसे? उसने आज तक पालक लगाया ही नहीं, आप उसको बोलते हो पालक खाओ क्योंकि आयरन होता है, कहेगा किताबी बातें करते हैं। जिसमें बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हों जो कि लाइफ स्किल्स के बेसिक इंग्रेडिएंट्स को सबसे पहले तो दुरुस्त करें। तो वो तो मैं मुरारी जी के बात पे बोल रहा था। Now coming to the question which you asked, I'm sorry I forgot your question.
I will repeat, but here I want to add to you and Murari ji also, because when he spoke about parent mindset and when you spoke about a parent, अगर स्कूल पालक लगवाएगा तो सबसे पहले तो पेरेंट को ऑब्जेक्शन हो जाएगी, देखो कपड़े गंदे हो रहे हैं, ये हो रहा है वो रहा है। और दूसरा, पेरेंट जो है वो अपने बच्चे को कार्टून दिखा दिखा के कि पपाया जो पालक खाता है तो वो स्ट्रांग है, तो बच्चे तो वही कह रहे हैं ना, बच्चे तो उसी एनवायरनमेंट में बड़े हो रहे हैं कि दे आर नॉट सीइंग, जैसे पौधारोपण है वो सब नहीं कर रहे हैं, लेकिन कार्टून में या क्या दिखा रहा है, दैट इज देयर मोड ऑफ एजुकेशन।
It's not the parental fault. पेरेंट की क्लास नहीं लगाई जाती, पेरेंट्स को बताया नहीं जाता। There is a case of vision alignment. There is a book by Peter Senge that is the fifth discipline. And ever since I read that book, I have changed myself completely. And I suggest everyone to go and read it, please. That one of the discipline Peter Senge talks about is the vision, vision alignment. And that vision alignment is must between the parents and the institutions, schools and colleges. I want to teach your child and I'm having a different vision. You want also your child to be taught. You have a different vision. हम लोग हमेशा लड़ाई करेंगे एक दूसरे से बैठ के, हमेशा लड़ेंगे। आपका काम मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, मेरा काम आपको अच्छा नहीं लगेगा। बच्चा आपको भी अच्छा लगता है, मुझे अच्छा लगता है। बच्चा कहेगा ना हमें आप अच्छा लग रहे हो, ना आप अच्छा लग रहे हो, कोई तीसरे के पास चला जाएगा।
बिल्कुल,
दोस्त बात में मत देना मेरा। So that vision alignment needs to be done. That is why I advocated the parallel class once the school gets over, either or there could be another wonderful initiative CBSE has taken, and that is called community participation. Now this community participation we were missing earlier. Now coming to your question, this community participation can bring the college and schools together. They should never feel that they are very comfortably placed at the different North Pole and South Pole. North Pole, South Pole, they are never comfortably placed. Trust me, from the definition of the physics, they are actually not even moving because they are stationary. So the school education system and the college as a system, they must unite themselves. This gap needs to be addressed. This is dangerously catering to the society, two different segments which are supposed to be united, and actually they are getting united later on, but then you know how it is getting united. College में जाने वाला बच्चा confused, और obviously जब आपके पास पहुंचता है तो आप परेशान, आप कहते हो कि स्कूल में क्या पढ़ाया गया, स्कूल्स के अंदर क्या सिस्टम चल रहा है। क्यों नहीं ये दोनों लोग एक साथ आते और वोकेशनल कोर्सेज जो हम लोग करना चाह रहे हैं उसको एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी के साथ जोड़कर देखने में हमारी मदद करते। मेरा सवाल सबसे पहले तो ये है।
बिल्कुल, और इसकी जो सबसे ज्यादा जो गैप है ना सर, वो इसलिए कि कहीं ना कहीं स्कूल there is a triangle situation. At one there is parent, school and student. जब ये एक लाइन में आ जाते हैं पेरेंट, स्कूल, पेरेंट और स्टूडेंट और चाइल्ड, तो एंड स्कूल, जब ये जो लीनियर उसमें आ जाएंगे तो कहीं ना कहीं जो सस्पिशन, इनफैक्ट अभी मैं कुछ दिन पहले, बिकॉज वी डू अ लॉट ऑफ कंसल्टिंग and check the school health of so many, this is also something which Edudevs is doing. we check their school health and provide them with those needed solutions and identify the gaps. Now, the biggest problem that the school was facing was parent did not align and was not on one same page with the school's philosophy, and the school was little suspicious about showing their real self to the parents. When I told them, I said, you're doing amazing work. Why are you just restricting the parents for the annual days, the sports day? आपने parent को सिर्फ audience बना के रखा हुआ. As you said, उनको एक community बनाई. Like Reggio Emilia approach. Reggio Emilia approach is this: extends the school's boundaries to the communities. Thank you so much, Ajay. You want to say something?
I just want to say that if Divyani has got her son or her daughter, I don't know whether it is feasibly possible or not, studying in my school, you could have been by now invited in my school to have a lecture in one of the classes. You could have by now got invitation to participate in a dance by now. But you could have got invitation to play sports in front of your child, because this is what exactly the community participation CBSE is talking about.
Amazing, because this is where, so rightly as Ms. Gunendra Mishra says, make your parents a part of that community and not just the audience who come. And so, as he said, make them participate in the sports day, let them deliver a lecture. I think beautiful tips that Mr. Mishra has given, and everybody who's watching should imbibe. Now, I will not take, I think I've been being on the center stage and taking all the spotlight. I had promised these two interns to co-host the show with me, and I'm so sorry I stole. Over to you, Akanksha and Aparna. They are going to now take the 10-15 minutes, whatever, of this show forward. Over to you, Akanksha and Aparna. Feel free to ask and rapid fire and fire the panelists. They are there for you.
Today, my name is Aparna Kaushik, and I'm in grade 10, and I study in KR Mangal World School, Vaishali. So today I'm going to talk about vocational education. So basically, vocational education is education that prepares people to a skilled craft as an artisan, trade, as a trade person, or follow their passion. So vocational education can basically also be seen as that type of education that give to an individual to prepare the passion they have and deeply know their passion. Basically, vocational education can also be known as training for a specific occupation, and that passion could be like anything, not just the things we all know. Basically, it can be even agriculture or trade or work in an industry, or it can be learning through theoretical knowledge, practical knowledge, anything. And schools should really promote vocational education. Thank you.
No, whom is your question to? Whom is your question to?
And
or are you asking the question?
I want to ask the question from Mr. Gunendra. My question is that new pathways for graduates from polytechnic institutions are being developed by the government and Ministry of Education. So please discuss such initiatives taken by the government.
I'm sorry, I might not be able to exactly tell you the initiative because I'm not having any, specific knowledge into this government initiative, because this is something which requires certain factual information. So it's not appropriate using any public platform to put up things in the wrong order. So as far as the government initiative regarding this particular project is concerned, that I'm not able to answer. I'm really sorry for that.
The next question. Yeah. So we have now Akanksha.
Yes, ma'am. So, like as my co-host already told that, yeah, just I'll give.
As we are running short of time.
Yeah.
So my first question is to Miss Lakshmi ma'am. Can you just tell me, it is often seen that students chase paper qualification and most popular vocational courses, which later do not translate into employment outcomes. How can the student eliminate this type of risk or issue while making his or her choices about this?
So yes, I think mostly you're focusing on taking up a decision on which course to select when it comes to vocational, or maybe any career. So it's everywhere. When it comes to the career counseling background, I always used to tell students refer to what are new technologies are coming up. It's like before taking a career decision, you need to have an understanding about what is happening around. That is something which is very important. Even if it's vocational, or even if it's a degree, or even if it's higher education, or what are the course you're planning to take up, you need to look around and understand what's happening. Are there any new technologies that are coming up? Are there anything that is happening when, even if it's in commerce field, even if it's in physics or mathematics field, what is happening around? That is something you as students need to understand. Then you need to realize what you wish to do, which area you wish to select, whether it's whether you want to study something the whole as a theoretical and you need to have a bachelor's degree, or you want to work in something which is really practical. So it's completely up to you to decide on which course to select. For that, you need to research and you need to look around on what's happening, which new technology is coming up, what are the opportunities. Maybe you need to think ahead of maybe for the coming 4 or 5 years. Then you can take a decision. Yeah, I'll take up this course. And always you need to have this add-ons. So my basic qualification is I have completed my PG in computer science, but I'm interested in career counseling, so that's an add-on for me. So similarly, if somebody who is an MBA personal, we all know about the trend in digital marketing that's happening. So you can take a course that's an add-on. So even for school students, there are lots of platforms which are providing free add-on courses. Even 6th or 7th students, they know how to write code in Python. There are different platforms which are offering them. So you can make use of these platforms and you can have an understanding. Yeah, this is happening. I'll just get trained in it. This will be an add-on for me. So once you take one course, if you feel like, yeah, this is, will it be there after some years? Everything will be there, but you need to update yourself with whatever is happening in that particular area. Then there is no need to worry about what you have studied or which subject it is. Will that trend go or something like that? You need to update yourself with whatever is happening in that area. Then you can be successful. So I hope I have answered.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have one question that, so many principals and educators are here at this point. As a representative of higher education, and especially the STEM education, in the field of STEM education, what are those 2 vocational courses that you would recommend the school to, offer to their students at +2 or maybe secondary level, so that will help them in and not just take them as the acute PW kinds, but real training, which will also help higher education institutions to for the progression of the child's learning. That's so that the children do not succumb and they progress well in higher ed.
Yeah. So maybe one thing I would support is something related to the computers. So that is something which it's like we can't move forward without relating to something related to that technology or the computer part. So that is something which I would refer. And the next thing is every school can just maybe do a survey among the students and then bring up subjects. There is something like food processing, which I think a lot of students have now taken. Something related to the media. So a lot of courses are there, but the problem is that it should be of student perspective. And only thing I want is we don't want it's whenever we are receiving students who are coming for BTech admission the first year, they know, as I think the panelists have already discussed, it's they know how to solve all these questions. But when it comes to algebra, they don't know where it's being used. or maybe when it comes to electricity and magnetism of that physics, they don't know. They can refer to some examples, but they don't know what is happening at this present point of time related to that area. I would say students will not have an idea about the hyperloop, maybe the maglev train. All these are the applications that they have studied in their school. I would say when it comes to robotics, we are using algebra. In computer vision, I'm not going into detail, in computer metrics or computer vision. So this has to be there in the students or the with the teachers. At least a basic idea about why they are studying the subject. That's what I feel is really important. Because most of the students, I know everybody is behind the competitive examination, and it's more of an elimination procedure now. Rather than selection, now the competitive exams have turned into an elimination procedure. And students are like, yeah, I'll start studying from my 6th or 8th. I'll write the formulas. I'll do this exam. I'll take mock test. I'll do this thing. But nobody thinks, why am I studying all these things? What's the use? It's like getting into an engineering college. I have this degree. They will teach me how to get into a company, and company will train me how to work. This is what is mostly happening. They have a 6 months training, because I'm from the computer science field. So I have worked in industry. So I know that. It's like, even if I know something related to Java or Python or anything, they will train me about PHP or Java, to what extent they want me to work. So I want that thing to be changed, and that will happen gradually, as I already said. So things will happen, but it will take some time. And schools can do a lot in making the students understand. They know, they study physics, they study everything related to chemistry. Even a lot of students have an idea about trigonometry, the equations, everything. But why this? That is something students are not able to understand. So if they have that, I would say that spark or that question, if they are able to answer this, then it will help us also to some extent, maybe even the students also to some extent, maybe in their future, in jobs and everything. So yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone, for such an insightful discussion and the insights that were shared by our esteemed panelists, that we didn't realize that it is 5:18 and we have exceeded the time. And, we are fully aware that what a rigorous day schedule the panelists, principals and other esteemed panelists have. We come to this end of the show, and at the end, I would just request each of our esteemed panelists to please share your resting insights or statements about today's topic. What is that message that you would like to, give to the audience, that and that would also be their takeaway. So I would begin with Mr. Murari, and then move on to Mr. Gunendra Mishra ji, and then to Lakshmi ma'am.
Thank you, madam. It was a wonderful experience meeting you people and getting to know all the things, what is happening in the college and what is happening in other schools. Once again, I will stress upon the same thing, that we must have a curriculum which promotes skill-based learning, and we as educators must create an environment so that the children, they are made to do something with their hand, and they must understand the why behind everything. So that may give us scientists in future, technicians in future, skillful people in future. So this is the responsibility, big responsibility with all of us.
Great. Thank you so much. And moving on to Gunendra Mishra, sir. Do we have sir with us?
Thank you, ma'am. Sorry. I'm really sorry, because what happens, the foundation schools needs principals 24/7. So this was the time which normally I used to have my culmination meetings, but pleasure to be here. And honestly speaking, it was a wonderful platform given by you people to speak to me. And I'm looking forward in future. My concern when it comes parental friction along with the education system, I have never heard any parent going to any college and having any friction with the college authority. I cannot even dream about it. What happens? The college people don't allow them to go to the campus and talk about their ward, or college people feels that the ward have become matured enough to take their decisions, or there's no problem all of a sudden, once they reach to the college. But in the schools, if every now and then you find that the parents actually going to the school and having a complaint, having a problem. So I think we need to, bring parents more into the process of learning, unlearning, and let's develop a nursery prep pedagogy till class 12th. I'm calling it as a pre-primary pedagogy, PPP. In my, again, unique terminology, my teachers are knowing it as a PPP. Now this PQP, triple P system is going to ensure learning by doing. Now see the need of the hour. 12th class children needs more than anybody else because they hardly do, they just listen and criticize. Music integration and dance integration. Now they want to dance alone in their bedroom or in the classroom, but when they have to dance together, they start feeling shy.
Yes.
Now 12th class teacher, they teach physics, chemistry, mathematics, and they make the children dance. When they have to dance on the stage, they feel that no, they will not dance. Now what is this nonsense? You have to dance. Principal need to dance first. Principal needs to sing. Principal needs to do everything which the principal expect the children to do. So this PPP pedagogy is going to be applied to the seniors as well. And therefore, performing arts get integrated by default. Sports get integrated by default. Everybody starts getting the digital literacy integrated by default. And obviously the curriculum teaching, which happens to be one of the major talking topic, that becomes the normal school phenomena. Normal school phenomena. Let the curriculum teaching is more than understanding the kids, and most of the curriculum is nowadays can be learned, unlearned by kids themselves. They need not to be taught. Don't teach them, please. Understand them, okay, and make them feel comfortable. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much. And I'm very reminded whenever sir speaks, I'm so reminded of, so, the shift has to be there from the science of teaching to art of learning. So as you said that the frontiers of, there is no need to teach. Even Google does that. And these days kids are very smart. And rightly said that the curriculum needs to be like, normally it's running, and more the importance of curriculum is that it should equip the students with the skills, the numeracy skills, literacy skills, communication skills, comprehension skills. These are the skills that can be, devoted to the curriculum progression. But the real skills have to be at least, I wouldn't say 80, at least 50 to 60%. And I'm very scared to speak in front of everyone that about 50% we should look at other skills. Thank you so much. And Lakshmi ma'am, your last statement very quickly. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So thank you. And it was very wonderful to get insights from both of the panelists. And it's like I was a student listening to them. That's what I felt during the whole session. So I got a lot of insights from them. So one thing is like, yeah, we are going to impart this vocational thing. We are going to talk about skills and everything. We need to make these people understand. I would not say not only students, even the parents. We need to make them understand what's the need of skills, what's going to happen. So then it's like the question and everything, I think that will get settled. So we need to make children understand why these skills are important, what is the need of the skills, why it's called the need of art. Then it's done. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much. And my last statement would be that it is time we recognize the importance of vocational education. And it goes beyond any curriculum. It is the demand of the new world order. No, the student is not going to ask you and to embed it in curriculum. There will be a universal push that will need your students to get, these skills honed in them. Let the bright futures of tomorrow, the rising youth of the country, know their talent as early as they can. Because education is beyond numbers, it is beyond ranks, it is beyond grades. And as Mishra ji said, there create coherence between why a student is doing what a student is doing. It is a powerful weapon that molds, shapes us to create a better future. Thus, it is time to break the stigmas, think beyond the traditional education systems, let the curriculum do its own work, and concentrate less on theory and rote learning. Instead, it's time to liberate the children and let them explore what they are good at, what they want to do, and liberate them from those 3 to 4 streams. Thank you so much, each and every esteemed panelist of today who could come and create this, such an insightful discussion. Thank you so much, Mr. Murariji and Gunendra Mishra ji. I shall be personally in touch with you for more of our engagements. And thank you so much, Lakshmi. It's always wonderful to take that fresh new perspective, because I always treat you as representing the youth icon and not, from bottom of my heart, thanks to our young students who are getting exposed to, okay, we can moderate, we can ask. Today, they might not be perfect, but tomorrow, you never know, they would be the moderators of the XTV channels. Thank you so much, all of you. Please don't go away without seeing what our future programs have to offer to you. Edudevs team, can we have the AV on? Thank you so much. I'm extremely apologetic because of some tech issues at the Edudevs office. Thank you for being patient and bearing with us. Have a great evening. Thank you so much. And please be tuned to our upcoming sessions and programs. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
हो गया क्या?